10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Turn the friggin' frogs gay. Serious crap.
What's up? Hola, everybody.
Hola, ¿cómo está?
¿Cómo estás? Hey. I know I didn't. This is my first chat of the week. I had a lot of stuff to do, but I'm off for the next 6 days. Today was my first day off. So I'm going to be doing chats every day of some sort, way, shape, or form. I don't know exactly what exact kind of chats we're going to do. It may just be hopping on and shooting the shit and doing a trigger time for an hour or whatever. I don't know. But I may be catching up and doing some chats and stuff, since I am going to be off for the next 6 days. So anyway, so I had stuff I had to do the last couple days. But anyway, we are here, and I'm going to go ahead. I did post this on YouTube. I posted made a YouTube post, and I posted it on Facebook, and I posted it on fucking everywhere else. But I'm going to try. We'll see if this actually works. I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to try to redirect the channel a little bit. Not a lot. It's not anything that I haven't done before, but it is arguably the thing that I have done on the channel in the past that I had the most fun with. And I think people out there in the chat and watching and all that kind of stuff, enjoyed a lot, probably more than anything else. Although I don't know, but, and that is, all the debates that we used to have. We used to have lots of debates on the channel. Now sometimes the debates were just between me and Yankee, frankly, about something we disagreed on or whatever the fuck it was. Sometimes it was
flashbacks here, Matt.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes it was debates with other people from other channels. So, it's just a variety of things. It was something we did, off and on throughout my years on YouTube. And I always had fun with it. And not for just the typical reasons of, like, arguing with people, although that can be a lot of fun. Arguing with people can be a lot of fun. Let's be honest. I've had many fun times. This is how me and Yankee became friends, was fucking arguing and yelling at each other all the time about all the shit we disagree on. But also, I always found it informative. Even if I walked away from debating somebody on a particular topic, not changing my mind at all. I always found it informative. And some of the big debates we had, obviously, back in the day were, we had the one with the alt-right, we had the one with the flat earthers, we've had a couple of gun control debates. Those are some of the bigger ones. But then we used to have debates all the time on the channel, just between people on the channel. So I'd like to get back to doing more of that, and doing topic-specific chats, whether they be an hour, 2 hours, whatever it is. And getting back to some of that, because it's something I enjoy doing. And even though we haven't done it in a long time, it's like one of my favorite types of content to watch on YouTube. And I've always said for a really long time, you should always do the type of content you enjoy, because that makes YouTube more fun. And if you're having more fun, you're more engaged with the audience, you're doing stuff you like. And I think that comes across really well. And look, I've had fun doing all the stuff I've ever done on YouTube, all the gun videos and the prepping stuff and the politics stuff and everything and the live chats. I always had a lot of fun doing specifically that. So essentially what the point is to put the call out about this stuff. So if anybody who watches this, or anyone you know has a particular strong opinion on a topic and you would like to debate it publicly, let me know. Email me, NeverEnuffAmmo@gmail.com. Even if you want to argue with something that is something I don't have a stake in, okay? And you just want somebody to go back and forth with, I'll just moderate it. If you've got two people with differing opinions that want to have a debate, I'll be more than happy to just moderate a debate, which I have done that before as well. Because I just find that type of stuff much more fun and interesting, and potentially the type of thing that can change people's minds on certain topics. So anyway, so that's something I'm going to be trying to get the channel to move towards. I don't know how long it's going to take before I can get a debate scheduled. That's why I titled the video what I did, which is mostly just to get attention so people will say, oh, what the fuck is this shit about? Because the things I put in the title of the video are things I would like to do debates on. Policing. I think most people know how I feel about policing, but I'd love to talk to somebody who feels differently. Guns, obviously, we can have gun control debates ad nauseum all day long. Those are always good for entertainment, knowledge, and things like that. And then digging down into that, simple things. Like I would love to have a debate with somebody about, like my opinion, for instance. I think you should use a handgun for home defense. A lot of people disagree, say it should be a long gun, AR, shotgun, something like that. Would love to have a debate on that. Abortion is a big one a lot of people debate on, you know. Trans bullshit is something a lot of people debate on. I'd love to have a debate on women's rights. I think that would be fun. But we'd have to actually get a chick in here to have that debate, because I don't think dudes debating on that is much fun. But and just a whole host of other topics that I'd love to have conversations on with people. So yes, the point is I'm trying to get back to doing some of those things that we used to have fun doing. I'd love to get some flat earthers on here again.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite debates that we had. Like I did not walk away having changed my mind and all of a sudden believing that the earth was flat. However, I loved having that conversation. You know what I mean? So it was a I thought it was a great, interesting conversation. And I think everybody who watched it found it fascinating. I would love to talk to some flat earthers again.
It made my brain hurt.
I mean, maybe it did a little bit, but it was entertaining, wasn't it?
Yes.
See?
Mostly when G-Webs would get mad.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying, that's what I would like to get back to. So I am putting the call out because I do need help to find people who actually want to have these conversations. So again, if you or anyone you know wants to have a conversation, if there's something you disagree with me on, feel free, let me know. We'll kind of run it on some nights. We'll run it kind of like an open mic type of thing, where we'll just kind of fucking let people join who have conversations on that stuff, you know. But yeah, I would love to have those conversations. Let me get these two super chats here real quick that came in. Stephen Carroll says, I'm moving and can't buy any new guns for a bit. With that being said, I bought a Remington Model 11 today. I can't buy anything, but I did.
Did you come here for us to scold you? We are the chat of poor financial decisions.
We're never gonna scold you on anything about that. The Model 11, that's the Semi-Auto 12 gauge, right? Model 11.
Yep.
I mean, I know there's a variety of them. There's like the 1148 and the 11 this and the 11 that, and there's a bunch of different versions with different barrel lengths and stuff like that. But they're very nice shotguns. Very nice shotguns. Oh, Seth for Life's got a question in the chat. Says, you disrespect trans women because you believe they are men. I disrespect trans women because they are women. We are not the same. That's funny.
He's in it just for the love of the game, man.
Officer Tater Hater dropped in a super chat. Thank you, sir. Says, please debate Officer Brandon Tatum so we could all see how stupid and bootlickerish he is. I would love to. I would love to do that. That dude is so big, though. I seriously doubt he would ever even consider.
I've watched a few of the debates he's done. He has gotten some really good points through.
Yeah, I doubt he, like, I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm underselling myself. I just don't feel like he would ever, like, he doesn't know who the fuck I am. He's a huge ass channel. You know what I mean? Like, why would he come on my channel to debate anything? But I would love to. I've watched plenty of Officer Tatum, and while I don't think, like, I've watched him, and he always comes across. I've never thought of him as, how am I trying to say this? As just straight up a bad guy. But I feel he's very, very stuck in a particular way of thinking that is 100% incorrect. I understand why he feels the way he does. But I've been able to see in many things he said where he outright contradicts himself in a lot of his ways of reasoning and his kind of worldview and his morals, especially when it comes to modern policing and things like that. And he doesn't see it, you know. He doesn't see it. He thinks his like moral guidelines and all that shit, he thinks they line up. He really does. He genuinely believes it. I've never looked at him and been like, oh, he's such a fucking asshole or douchebag or whatever. Like, he comes across as genuinely believing this stuff. So I'll give him that. He's fucking wrong as shit on his opinions on modern policing. But yeah, I would love to have a conversation with him. Mr. Carroll says, not looking for a scolding. I just knew you would all understand, unlike my wife. We always understand. Always. And we will never scold you for buying a gun unless you go buy a Springfield XD brand new. And then you're going to get some shit. Then you're going to get some shit. I'm sorry to tell you, that is going to happen. If you were to
get shit from you for my 1911, which was bought used.
And I still give you shit.
And off of a friend. So no money ever went to spring shit.
Just saying. Stephen Carroll dropped in another one. Says, these colors don't run is a BS term because France has the same colors. Prove me wrong. That's true. You got a good point.
Yeah, but not in the same orientation or
color
design.
The particular U.S. orientation of those colors don't run. But those colors do run.
Yeah, because red, white, and blue are kind of 70% of all national flags.
I know, it's so many fucking countries use red, white, and blue.
I love the fact that I think it's like at least 4 national flags have AKs in them.
Yeah. How long did it take you to realize that the British national flag is the combination of the Irish, Scottish, or the UK national flag is the combination of the Irish, Scottish, and British national flags all put together?
Northern Irish.
Northern Irish.
The traitors.
The traitors. Yeah.
Yes, I am part Irish.
Yeah, no.
So I got strong opinions.
He is not a fan of the black and tans.
Hey, that's racist.
Against the tans? Oh, my bad.
Well, no, the funny thing is the 2 flags that make up the design of the United Kingdom's flag is the Scottish flag and the flag of England. There's some.
I thought it was one of the fucking
Northern Irish flag.
I thought it was one of the Irish flags too.
Nope.
It's just the
No,
Scottish.
they don't even include any parts of the Welsh flag, and the Welsh are part of the United Kingdom.
I was about to say, yeah, I don't think the Welsh were in there, and they count.
Oh yeah, because then they'd have to have a giant red dragon on their flag.
I mean, I feel like that'd be an upgrade.
It would be.
This says French tanks have 13 reverse gears and 1 forward gear, just in case the enemy comes from behind.
There's only 4 directions. Why is there 17 pedals?
I like that. I like that. So anyway, let's briefly cover some of the debate topics. I want to put my opinions out there. Brief summaries of my opinions. That way, if anybody's listening and disagrees and wants to talk about it, you certainly can. You're more power to you and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. It's okay. So, oh Lord, what's the easiest one to start with? I don't even fucking know anymore. Well, let's talk about gun control. Everybody knows how I feel about gun control. It's fucking bullshit. But I have had more than a few interesting conversations with people who say they're pro-gun, but we do disagree, sometimes vehemently, on aspects of gun control. Like, I'm all for fucking felons and shit getting their gun rights back. And I know a lot of people who are pro-gun that disagree with that. Like, a lot of people. There's a lot of right-wingers who disagree with that. That's one that I've had a few debates on. Would love to have that debate again, because I'm 100% fucking right on this. Felons should immediately get their guns back as soon as they get out of prison. But yeah, just in general, the whole gun control thing, we have had in 15 years on YouTube, and could continue to have hundreds and hundreds of debates and conversations about that particular topic, of which I will always be right, because I am. Because there is only one truth, and it is on my side when it comes to gun control. So let's just throw that out there. Police. Let's talk about police here real quick. And I'm gonna narrow it down to modern policing. Modern policing is the antithesis of freedom. That is my opinion. And if we ever have a debate on this, I can go into much more detail. But in general, modern policing is the opposite of freedom, and it conflicts with the tenets and spirits of the Constitution of the United States of America. Therefore, I am against pretty much all forms of modern policing, like across the board. Notice I said modern policing, not police. The idea of police, of having like some community funded, people who live in an area helping to maintain the safety of an area. I don't disagree with the concept of that. And there are certainly times and areas and jurisdictions and things that have done policing right. Modern policing is just a fucking jackbooted thug fucking over people's freedoms. Does anybody disagree? No, of course you don't, because I'm fucking right. And if you do,
I'll say it all depends on the agency and the location. Yes,
I'll say there is not, in the United States, there is not a single agency, a single jurisdiction in this country that has good policing anymore. I will say there's probably some good cops out there, maybe some good sheriffs out there, but there's no actual single complete law enforcement organization, state, local, or federal, that is good. That is my opinion. So I'll leave it at that.
Here locally where I live, I can tell you this: our sheriff's office does a great job.
Would they give you a ticket for not wearing your seatbelt?
Depends on the deputy.
but in general, do they enforce that law or those types of laws, like give you a ticket for not having insurance?
Insurance, they will ticket you most of the time. When I've known someone who's gotten busted without the seatbelt, they've gotten away with a warning. Now, if it was the state police,
well, the point I'm making is every police agency, I don't care how nice some of the deputies are or officers or whatever, every police agency will, to one degree or another, enforce laws that go against the spirit of the Constitution and the levels of freedom we're supposed to have in this country according to its founding. Every fucking policing organization in the country enforces laws that if you were somehow able to go back in time and show a law to the founding fathers and say, my city, my state, whatever, fucking wrote this law and said we had to abide by it, the founders would go, that's fucking unconstitutional, fuck that law. And yet every police agency in the country fucking enforces those types of laws. And those are just the little ones. I'm just talking about like seatbelt. Like if you went back and asked the founders and said, hey, should we write a law that says that you have to, if they knew what cars were, that if you wanted to drive around in your vehicle without a seatbelt, that you would be forced to pay a fine, or that if you wanted to drive around in your vehicle and not pay for a product which 9 times out of 10 doesn't actually cover you and you still end up getting fucked anyway, as a mandatory requirement to have the freedom of travel, do you agree with those laws? The founding fathers would go, fuck no, that's not freedom. And there are thousands upon thousands of laws in every jurisdiction across this entire country that has that meet that level of constitutional scrutiny, that are the types of laws that would not have been able to be passed by the people that wanted to institute true freedom and liberty in this country.
Amen.
And yet those cops still fucking enforce those fucking laws. Why? Well, because the mayor and the city council passed a fucking law or a fucking ordinance or this or that or whatever the fuck it is. Well, I'm just doing my job. Well, your job is fucking violating people's fucking freedoms.
oh yeah, like city and major metropolitan police departments, they'll just do whatever they're told. Now, when it comes to, say, like an elected law enforcement official, like your sheriff, they ultimately answer to the people. So you get a lot more sheriffs who will be like, hey, this law is bullshit. We're not going to enforce it.
True. You will find more sheriff's departments that are willing to overlook certain levels of infractions that are on the books than you will find, city and state police willing to do that. However, they do still enforce those laws by and large. There may be a couple that this particular sheriff says they're not going to enforce, and this particular sheriff says there's a couple others that I don't want my deputies enforcing, and another sheriff may say, hey, here's 1, 2, or 3 that I won't enforce. But they all enforce some of them. And that to me, right then and there, that makes you a fucking bad cop.
There was a group of police officers historically who were just following orders, who used that as an excuse during a certain Nuremberg trial that happened. Yep. And who did not let them use I was following orders as an excuse? The judges. Some of them were put to death, others were put to labor camps. Point being, if you are ordered to do something that's, well, in those cases against humanity, but I think if you're a sworn police officer of the United States, that you should be following as much as possible, as much as you possibly can, the fucking Constitution. I know, it's kind of like a conundrum, because in order to arrest someone, you fundamentally have to deprive them of their constitutional rights, at least for a short period of time, right? Because you're detaining them, you're putting them into custody, you're in that process disarming them, right? And like, you know, like those are rights that you have the right to travel, well, not while you're arrested. You have the right to bear arms, well, not while you're arrested, you know. So like you step over that line when you arrest someone, but it's for a reason, because they're doing something to hurt somebody. So like, I don't know, like arguably fundamentally there is a difference. But
there is a difference if somebody is being detained or arrested with good reason. And I think if we sat here and hashed it out, we could all come up with a list of things that are good reason. You know, somebody just committed a crime. Somebody just violated someone else's rights in some way, shape, or form, whether that was burglary, robbery, you know, fucking theft, armed robbery, assault, murder. Like, you know, there's quite a long list of things that, even going back to the founding of the country, if you had done those things, even the founders would say, yes, or that, yeah, okay, that's a good, valid reason to arrest that person. And those are things we should all agree on. And those are things I have no problem with. And I don't know anybody, even people who are more anti-cop than me, don't have problems in those cases, detaining and arresting people. I don't know really anyone, and I know some very, very anti-cop motherfuckers that are like against the idea of putting people in prison for committing heinous crimes. But the problem is, it's just gone so far that so many of the instances of people being detained and arrested are things that, in general, most classical liberals or libertarians just don't agree with. You know what I mean? The fact that you can be detained and arrested and all these things for like a fucking seatbelt, or, you know, not wanting to pay for a fucking, you know, laws that say you have to fucking have insurance. Yeah, I get it. It's a good idea. I'm not saying insurance is bad. I mean, it is in many cases, because it's become a big corporatized fucking way to funnel money. But, you know, it's obviously it's much better for the fucking insurance companies than it is for the people that have to buy the insurance. But the idea behind, you know, CYA, right, covering your ass, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not telling people not to get insurance or not to wear a fucking seatbelt, right? But the fact that you can be detained and potentially arrested for not doing those things is fucking wrong. Like, what about freedom? What if I just, you know, for some reason I don't want to wear my fucking seatbelt? I think seatbelts are a great idea, by the way. But the fact that you can be detained and arrested and forced to do so, or otherwise have your ability and privilege of freedom of travel taken away, is fucking bullshit. Let me get this super chat here real quick from Officer Tater Hater. He says, Matt, I agree with here's the deal. That's another guy you need on your channel. He says there are no good cops because the entire orchard is rotten. The entire police culture, the only good cop is the one who just got fired. And I tend to agree. I think, and that's why I specifically say modern policing. I think we've gotten to a point where you know, everything has been tainted for decades and decades and decades now at this point, that it is ingrained into the structure of policing in our country. I mean, it's been ingrained into the structure of policing in all first world countries, but, you know, we're talking about the United States of America, and I don't think there's any getting away from it right now. So I think you're absolutely right. The idea that, you know, the orchard is rotten, and so you're only going to get bad fruit from it because the very foundation, you know, what it grows from is rotten, is bad. You know, you're not growing good shit in that particular garden. I agree with that 100%. So,
well, you can also look at it as a historical perspective, because before each city had its own police departments, it was always a county sheriff and a deputy U.S. Marshal.
Yep.
Things
and there
were
was
bad back then.
And there was, I'm not even saying this like facetiously, there was literally a million times fewer laws on the books at that point in time about things that you could actually like be harassed and detained and arrested for.
And at most, if the town was wealthy enough, they'd have their own like town marshals, but it wasn't like the model we see today.
Yeah. But so anyway,
well, the marshals were responsible back in the day, not just for bringing down fugitives. Back then, they did the same job as the FBI.
Huh?
They did the FBI's job before the FBI was the FBI.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, there were institutions like the Texas Rangers that were actually around before there was an FBI.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And I can tell you this, as someone who doesn't live in Texas, I think, or ever grew up there, I would not want to mess with the Texas Ranger.
Especially Walker.
Yep. Walker.
No roundhouse kick you.
The few times I've been to Texas, I'd always been like, it's not the local DPS, the local cops that I'm worried about getting caught by. It was the Rangers.
I would mess with Nolan Ryan.
I wouldn't have messed with him in his prime.
Yeah, not back then, but now. He was a Ranger.
That's true. So was Jose Canseco back in the day.
Technically, I worked for Nolan Ryan for a period of time.
Oh yeah, because he owns restaurants and shit.
Yeah, he owned one of the restaurants that I used to work for.
I forget the name of that first one he started. Which first went up. The very first one was built across the street from from Ranger Stadium in Arlington, Texas. I forget the name of it, but it was his first restaurant that became a chain, and then he started spreading out, and it'd be, other restaurants with other names. I can't remember the name of it. Maybe it was like Nolan Ryan's fucking Applebee's or some shit. I can't remember the fucking name of it was, but
dude,
I remember when
I'm having trouble remembering the name of the company that I worked for right now. Like it's been a while though.
But a lot of
15, 20 years, something like that.
People have to realize when it comes to the whole topic of police, you have to also look at the corrections side of it.
What do you mean? Corrections?
Yeah, like the prisons.
Oh, the prisons are a complete
They're
cluster.
the two sides of the same coin.
They're worse in my opinion than the police system.
Is it, okay, so there's there's
rehabilitate you.
The prison system is more closely linked to the judicial side of the law as opposed to the enforcement side of the law. There is some, obviously, prison systems does require a level of enforcement, obviously, but it is more closely linked to the judicial side of creating laws and enforcing laws than the actual physical enforcement, which is the side that the cops are on. Now, that being said, does the problems with the prison system in this country and how it relates to the judicial system and how that is all tied into the laws that are written, which are then enforced by the cops, does that all connect? 100%. 100%. There is a lot of monetary gain to be had by many peoples and corporations and jurisdictions to incentivize the prison system as it stands now. You know what I mean? And to incentivize the creation of new laws that cops will go out and enforce to fill up said prison system. So the idea of a for-profit prison system is just a bad idea across the board. It always has been. It always will be. And that's the majority of what we have now is a for-profit prison system.
Also, the prison system is less about, I mean, it seems like it should be about reforming people, right?
Yeah, it should be about reform and rehabilitation.
But it's more about punishing people. So you're
Yes.
not trying to rehabilitate them. You're trying to make them pay for these crimes that they committed. And I think there's probably a conversation to be had as to which people should be just punished versus which ones could be rehabilitated. But I think the conversation needs to be more around capital punishment in that case. But people are,
Oh, I agree 100%. Because my opinion is, if somebody has committed a crime so heinous that society has deemed that they cannot be reformed, and therefore, because we should have a prison system based on reform and based on getting a person ready to be reintroduced in society as a better person than when they went in. And if we as a society have deemed that a particular person has committed a crime so heinous that that is not an option, we should just fucking put them to death. If whatever they've done is so bad that they're going to spend the rest of their life in prison, not getting reformed, and there's no chance they're ever going to get out, because we've deemed that they are simply too dangerous to ever be let out among the public again, why are we just paying to keep them in prison? What's the point?
It's worse than
die
that.
in there.
It's like, yo, we're gonna let you out in like 10 years, right? But in the meantime, we're gonna take you from like a criminal who shouldn't be out on the streets, who isn't to be trusted, who will steal things and rape and pillage and do whatever, right?
Mhm.
And we're gonna put you in a fucking box where they train you how to be really, really good at those things. And you spend 10 years inside of that box learning how to be deceitful, learning how to fucking, like the tricks of the trade, and getting like inside connections with other people who were in the criminal organizations of different kinds. And now you're integrated, and now you have contacts, and now you have fucking abilities, and now you get released into the general population after 10 years of spending time as punishment, not as rehabilitation for the crimes he committed, a super criminal, someone who's like ready, willing, able, and has the ability to fucking go out and do crimes immediately that like previously you wouldn't have even been able to dream of. But anyway.
No, you're 100% right, because that's what happens. Instead of, and like, I don't know, there's a big conversation to be had about it, and probably people far smarter than me that have ideas that are better than mine. But I mean, I would basically turn it into a locked down fucking, education camp. Like, okay, while you're here, you're going to be productive for society in some way, shape, or form, and for yourself. And the requirements here are, here are a list of fucking types of schooling you can take. And we're going to put you through school. We're already paying for you to fucking be here. We're already paying people all this fucking money to go there every day and do all these things. There's so many fucking prison programs that out the ass. And the vast majority of prisoners don't partake in many of these prison programs. I would be like, no, fuck you. It's mandatory. Pick one. And that's what you're going to fucking do. This is lockdown school, motherfucker. We're going to fucking teach you how to be a better person. So when you get out, you're not going to fucking go in prison and learn how to be a better fucking criminal. You're going to go in prison and learn to be a fucking welder or a fucking mechanic or a fucking, I don't give a shit, whatever the fuck it is. And spend, because we're already spending all the money. We're spending billions of dollars on the prison system.
You know what you're talking about right now?
College?
Demolition, man.
Demolition. Yeah, there you go.
Because I
just learned about a county prison, or maybe it's a state prison in California, that's training convicts to enter the workforce when they leave as barbers.
I mean, okay. I mean, barber wouldn't be the first thing I would put on the list as training people to do, but I would be training. I would be training to fill gaps in our societal jobs. All right, like for instance, right now, countrywide, we actively fucking need almost 200,000 electricians. Like, we need them. Like, our infrastructure needs them. And because since the 1990s, trade schools had become less and less popular because, we let fucking politicians talk people into fucking putting themselves in debt to get a useless fucking degree. Trade schools have not been pumping out the people that our fucking country needs to maintain its infrastructure, whether it be electricians or plumbers or fucking HVAC techs or mechanics or, you know, fucking welders or whatever it is.
Well, I know
I'd be pushing for those types of jobs.
where I live locally, the vocational school that I graduated from my junior and senior year of high school, they had to expand the campus because certain programs are growing. A lot of them are the HVAC.
Well, good. They should be, because we are in a huge deficit when it comes to
the fire and EMS program, which is what I took. They all had to expand and make the campus bigger. I think they said that this year the incoming classes are about like 2,300 students, which is good.
That's great, dude. That needs to keep happening. Those schools need more people to make that choice to say, hey, I want to go to a trade school and learn a valuable skill like this, because for 30 years now, trade schools have been dropping off as an option for the vast majority of people in the country.
Do you know what's stuck in my head still, and I blame Night Strike for?
What?
Frying pans?
Country road, take me home.
Little place I belong.
Yeah.
Take me home. Country road. You know what's funny is that is one of my all-time favorite songs.
Mine too.
That's like in my top 10 favorite songs of all time.
Well,
the best
it goes to show that John Denver lives forever. Period.
He does. Let me get this super chat because we were on a roll here. Sister Life put one in. His member super chat. How hard up for money is Dean Cain? I don't know, because I heard he like joined ICE, and I meant to look into this.
Dear.
I didn't know if it was like he joined ICE in like an honorary fashion, or if he did it. From what very, very light cursory investigation into this that I did, he did it not because he needed, but he actually did like officially like join ICE. Like it wasn't just some like honorary, here's an honorary badge or whatever. Like he actually like did all the, now he got the opportunity to do all this shit because of who he is, because normally ICE doesn't take anybody in over the age of 35. Okay. But they allowed him to do it, but he actually did do all the stuff that an ICE agent would have to do, or that a person would have to do to become an ICE agent. But he did it not because he needed money. He did it because he's very hardcore right wing and, you know, believes in it, and he has the time to fucking do it.
And he has law enforcement experience.
So I mean, he's despite what people believe, he's actually he's what most of us would consider well off. Now, compared to Hollywood elites and shit like that, he's a fucking nobody. But like, he's got enough money and has done enough in his career that he's like fine. You know what I mean? Like,
Did
he's
you know
not
his father was in the Air Force?
Dean Cain?
Yeah.
Was it the Air Force?
Yeah, it was the Air Force.
I thought it was something else. But
during his
because his father, it would have had to have been his biological father, because his stepfather, who's the one that raised him, was a Hollywood producer.
Yeah.
So that's where he gets the name Cain from, is his stepfather.
I know.
Because his stepfather adopted him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his stepfather adopted him, and then he got into sports, but he actually, because his stepfather, whatever, was a Hollywood producer, he actually went to school with like all these fucking famous people. Like, he knew Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez in high school. and like he knew all these people. So, and it wasn't until he fucked up his knee after playing for the Buffalo Bills that he got into fucking acting and shit because of growing up around it. So, but yeah, I don't think he needs money. He's pretty good. He lives for the amount of money he has. He lives a fairly low key lifestyle. Like compared to probably any of us, he probably lives high on the hog because he's got a lot more money than the rest of us too. But anyway, yeah, I don't think he needs money. He's just doing it because he's hardcore right wing. So
Probably doing it because he can,
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that,
He's also served on 3 different police departments before this too.
Yeah. Effing Rob, thank you, sir.
Superman.
Thank you, sir, for pointing that out because this is something I've had many debates with people about. That song is not about West Virginia. It is about the western side of Virginia, not West Virginia. Because all the things that it talks about in that song, all the the mountains, all the stuff that it names in that song are things that are in the state of Virginia, not West Virginia.
Do the people of West Virginia and the people of West Virginia fight about which West Virginia is the real West Virginia?
I don't know. It's a good question.
They probably do.
Is it kind of like a Taiwan, West Taiwan situation?
Maybe. It might be.
God damn that plane!
It could be. You never know.
Virginia.
All right. Where are we at? Let me see if we got any questions out there in the chat. Evan Rob says, wasn't there a cop show / private detective show about a former prisoner who had learned all the tricks, like Honda says, and outsmarts the criminals? Maybe?
You might be talking about White Collar.
The one he's talking about, White Collar.
No, not White Collar. It might be.
White Collar, yeah, because he's a criminal, but he works with an FBI.
Well, there was also Leverage.
Yeah, there was Leverage. There's a couple of shows about this.
Yeah, Leverage did that too, but
White Collar went harder.
I like both.
I watched White Collar. I've never watched Leverage. I've seen every episode of White Collar. I like that show.
I enjoyed White Collar more than Leverage.
That show came out at a time. There was a period of time in from the mid 2000s to the mid 2010s where USA was just fucking knocking it out of the park.
Yeah, like Royal Pains.
Royal Pains is a great show.
Burn Notice, White Collar.
Oh, Burn Notice is one of my favorite shows. I fucking love Burn Notice.
Suits. They had some really good shows.
Yeah, there was
Prison Break also USA?
No, Prison Break wasn't USA.
Pumping out some really good shows. So anyway, let's see. Did I get all that? By the way, guys, if I missed any of your comments, I'm sorry. We've been kind of rambling.
Like you.
What?
It means your comments are stupid.
Jeez, Honda trying to offend everybody.
You know what's funny is always because I watch a bunch of going back to the whole debate thing. I watch a whole bunch of fucking debates and shit. Different channels debating about different topics. Sometimes it's topics that I know something about and care about, and sometimes it's just random fucking shit that I don't even fucking give a shit about. But I like to hear two people with differing opinions try and hash shit out, and give their arguments as to why they're right and shit. And I don't remember 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, something like that, I was clicking on one of the on some fucking debate that YouTube recommended, and goddamn, I almost if I wouldn't have been at work, because I was driving around for work. I was in the patrol car, and so I just have my phone listening to stuff. I just listen to, I just put something on, something I don't have to watch on YouTube, So I'll put on these debates and shit whenever I'm driving around. And the one it recommended, dude, I wanted to call you so bad, Honda, but I was working. It was fucking, two people debating over the theory of evolution. And I just fucking started laughing my ass off.
Oh, you can call me baby anytime.
It was fucking hilarious. It just reminds me of us having those conversations and shit. It was funny. But I didn't get through the whole thing. I think I put it on. I only got about 15 minutes into it. And it was like a fucking 2-hour long debate. So I don't know how it fucking ended. But no, I like listening to good debates, man. I like it.
You kept pushing hard that it's a theory and it hasn't been proven.
Who, me?
No, in the debate you're talking about.
No, and I think this is probably why I didn't continue listening to it, because it just the debate immediately off the bat got like heavy into the weeds instead of some of the broader topics. Like sometimes the debates will start with, okay, let's cover the broader topics, and then as the debate goes down, we'll narrow onto specifics of our differing opinions. And this one started right out of the fucking gate with like talking about taxonomical categories and shit for fucking cats and dogs. And I was just like listening to it. And so like they just started and were like fucking so hardcore focusing on that for the entire like 15 to 30 minutes that I actually listened, that they never got off that fucking topic. So I never went back and finished it.
All right,
Normally when you're starting a debate, you start with the broader concept of your opinion against the other person's broader concept of their opinion. And then as the debate goes on, you may eventually narrow down to things like taxonomical categories in fucking canines and felines, right? Like it may get to that at some point. But you don't start there.
Night strike down. Honda down.
Uh-oh.
Oh dear.
Jesus.
Quick, change the topic. The CIA and NSA are listening in.
Uh-huh.
No, see, I would love to see somebody debate Jolly here on anime.
Well, that'd be fun.
Yeah,
Look, my knowledge does not go that deep. I
could debate
really
on
just
generalities like why 80s and 90s, 70s, 80s, and 90s anime is better than modern anime. Like I could debate on
what
that.
What pisses me off is how people just go, "Oh, anime's just cartoons." I'm like, no.
These people who've never fucking watched anime.
I'm like, I've watched a lot of animes that have had subtle adult themes in them.
John Brown Productions says, your patrol car. Hey, John Brown Productions hasn't been around for a while.
Yeah, he went to go work for Umbrella Corporation.
Yeah, I went to work for Umbrella
Part
Corp.
of the USS.
Now, I'm not going to go into any great detail, but I work for essentially a private police force.
So you work for Blackwater?
No.
No, he works for Umbrella Security Services.
I
thought you were going down to Haiti.
I work for a private police department. We are beholden only to a company. We do not fucking we don't do anything on like with the general public. Like we only have interactions with people if you are on our fucking property. But we do have police powers and shit, and it's a whole fucking thing. But a lot of companies have their own like police forces, which is like a step up. It's like a step between a security guard and an actual police officer. There's like a middle step there. The difference is you like have the ability to do like arrest people and do all these things, but only as it relates directly to the company you work for.
Yeah, a lot of hospitals have it now.
Stuff like it. That's basically what it is. So, shit. I got to shut the chat down. I'm about to be late for my next chat. So, Guys, we'll be back tomorrow. We're going to do some more chats. Like I said, I'm going to try and do chats every single day while I'm off for the next 6 days. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I got to hop on over to my other chat. Thank you, guys. We will see you guys mañana. Enjoy your weekend. As always, deuces, yo, shut up, pee in fridge, and all that good shit. And we'll see you guys next time. Take it easy, guys.